Okay, so it's actually 5:37 a.m. So I don't expect too many people to actually join me in the live stream, but that is perfectly fine. You will get the message when the message is meant for you to receive. But, I've been like, I guess I feel like skipping timelines again. So sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm in other places. And so I realize that I've written down a few pages of things that I need to go ahead and, share so that I can continue, the flow of information that's coming in, through my crown as love and light and information. Okay. I'm drinking my own potion called Divine Temple. It is absolutely delicious. It tastes very refined and divine, and it's very helpful with meditation and channeling. So I suggest that you try it whenever you have the opportunity. Okay. So, what did I call this? Witching Hour Revelationz number 2. Okay. And I believe it's about the power of love and light. Okay. We are listening to Happiness Frequency. This is Jason Stevenson's chakra healing music. This is the frequency is serotonin, dopamine, endorphin release music, and releases negativity. Okay, so Jason Stevenson, Happiness Frequency is basically what we're listening to. Okay. So what I want to talk about is, because I've been spending a lot of time in nature, releasing a lot of stagnant energy that I didn't even realize that I was holding on to from, the traumatizing situation that I went through when I was ghosted, and, even going further back than that. As we go further, we're going to talk about healing past life traumas and the quote unquote generational curses and hexes and things of that nature. Okay. So today, earlier, my brother and I had gone on a hike and we actually ran into, because it was funny because I had been talking to one of my people about fairies. He had actually emailed me and asked me about fairies. And then it was like the very next day, because I absolutely know that they exist. I've seen them, but they rarely show themselves. They look at your spirit and they look at the purity of your spirit, and then they will show themselves. So mostly the fae, they show themselves to children who are still pure at heart. Or if you're an adult, you have to have done a lot of cleansing work and be very pure at heart in order for them to be able to show you, simply because of their vulnerability. Okay. But, during our walk today, we actually ran into a little fairy house. It was built inside of like the hollow of a tree, and it was absolutely perfect. I made sure to be very respectful of, their home, and I didn't touch anything. But I do think that the next time that I go back, I will take an offering and just leave it there. Okay. So basically, those who have been, bravely taking the leap of faith necessary to be on this frequency, which I realized, if you look back at the video of me and my brother at the lake today, or I don't remember what the name of the video was, the New Earth Energy or something like that. That was actually what was written on this little stone that was like at the entrance of the fairy's house. It said, "Be brave," or something like bravery. Okay, and so I felt that even get to a point where you would be allowed to perceive, their little fairy home, that you had to have been brave enough to have taken a leap of faith to even be there. Okay. And so, like I said, for those of you who have bravely taken this leap of faith necessary to be on this frequency, first of all, congratulations. Okay. Our hearts, our minds, and even our bodies are collectively experiencing a major metamorphosis. Okay, again, we're all shedding the cocoons and becoming the butterflies. And I mean, I've been getting so many signs, like when we were getting ready to leave the lake the other day. There was just a fly, a butterfly that was just like perched on the ground, um, waiting for us to get to a certain area so that he could, fly up and like be in our awareness. And he was very beautiful, black and blue butterfly. But I knew that he wanted our attention, and that, because I was told that I would wake up this morning, which was yesterday morning, and be aware of new gifts. And I absolutely was. Okay. And so this is why I was able to, call the bees to the yellow flowers. This is why I was able to manifest the yellow flowers. This was why I was able to see into the dimension where the fairy houses were. And the way that I was perceiving just everything was absolutely amazing today. Welcome to the one person who has joined me in the chat. So, I've been having some amazing times because I've had faith in the new earth. And I'm having no trouble at all releasing the old way. Okay. So again, for those of you who have taken this leap of faith to be on this frequency with us, I do want to congratulate you. Okay, we are all going through a collective metamorphosis. Okay, and all of us are experiencing the quote unquote ascension symptoms. You know, to one degree or another. Everyone is experiencing this in their own way, okay? And they're experiencing their own symptoms, because only your body knows what it's going through and when and how to warn you of what specific symptoms need to be paid attention to. Only you would know that, okay? And so this is also why it's important to develop that very close relationship with your higher self, because that's who's informing you of everything. But your physical body will actually manifest physical pains, letting you know what needs to be adjusted. When I was in my narcissistic relationship, I remember having lower back pain. I remember having um pain, like not having like a lot of stress, like there's just so much stress across my shoulder and back area. And now I realize that that wasn't even my shit, but it was a lot of toxic energy that was being brought into my home by someone who I should not have been trusting. Okay. And so I do a lot of cleansing. I actually have a bath waiting for me right now that I know is uh, getting warm, because I like my baths hot, so hot that my skin is smoking when I get out. So I will be reheating that, okay, and then re-moisturizing myself and just luxuriating in the bath. But I did throw a couple of river rocks in there already, and so um, you know I don't want to waste my river rocks. So, welcome, Michael Johnson, for being here. And I'm so happy that you are on board with the transformation. And yes, sir, we are definitely evolving on many levels. And you are absolutely right. The ultimate key is to completely love yourself first, because the universe that's going to be reflecting, all the universe is doing is reflecting back to us the way that we feel about ourselves inside. And once we grasp that, once we can really wrap our minds around it, then we begin to move differently in this reality. Okay, so like I said, everybody's experiencing their quote unquote ascension symptoms differently. Okay, but your body knows when and how to warn you, okay, about what specific symptoms need your attention. Okay, a big part of that requires letting go of, first of all, the society standards of beauty that have been programmed into your mind by the matrix or the mass consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And you basically have to remove your focus from the vanity portion of the whole thing. I mean, it's not saying that you don't want to be beautiful, or you might not want to lose weight or change yourself in some sort of way, but the main focus should not be on vanity. Okay, and so that's going to be the first move that you up with me right now, but that is perfectly fine because, like I said, everything happens as it should. Okay, and so basically, you know, what we should be focusing on is filling our sacred hearts with the God particles of love and light that I talk about. Okay, the prana that Ralph talks about on Infinite Waters. Okay, and as this transformative elixir of love, which is all that love and light is a transformative elixir of love. It will permeate your being, okay, at a cellular level. A magical transformation takes place with your physical vessel, okay, and it also allows you to share this sacred love and light with the world, okay, as your own personal gifts of blessing and healing for other people, okay. And so, being so focused on how I look and needing to lose weight and needing to do this and that, that is really kind of a distraction from the spiritual purpose of all of this. Because once again, once you align your spirit with your physical body, then your physical body has no choice but to speed up its vibration enough to, be in alignment. So, people who consider them, this is what I've noticed. A lot of people who consider themselves, awakened, evolved, they talk a lot about, going vegan or eating a plant-based diet or something that they're doing with their diets, I've noticed that a lot of those people also seems to, it's like they don't even realize that, like, their ego takes possession of this discipline that they've developed within themselves. Okay, and when the ego takes credit for them developing this discipline, and somehow they, these awakened people somehow, now, because they're eating a different diet, somehow feel that they're better than other people. Okay, and so this is a good, a good example of, how even the ego can usurp some of the knowledge that you gain, on this spiritual path. So be very careful, Again, yes, you do need a good mindset, Michael. Not to, begin to feel superior because you've made certain choices, because not every choice is for everyone. Okay, and this is why I always say to each his or her own, meaning to each his or her own path, his or her own experience, okay, and his or her own truth, okay, as long as it gets you to where you're going, okay. There are many paths, to get to the end result, and there are many mansions, okay, in the Creator's home. But according to the divine, okay, it is not what goes into your mouth, okay, vegan and clean eater, that defiles you, okay. And you can look this up in your religious books, even though y'all know I'm not religious. I was at one point on the ministerial staff, so I do know the truth that's in the Bible, and also in other religious writings, okay. And I can tell you, you can look this in your religious book, Matthew 15, I'm sorry, this is Matthew 15:11. It is not what goes into your mouth that defiles you. It is what comes out of your mouth. Okay. And so, because the power of life and death is in the tongue. Okay. And so, let us not forget those things, and let us give a deeper meaning. Okay. And you are exactly correct, Michael. And I'm going to be speaking even more about having that correct attitude as you're doing your work. Otherwise, you won't be effective. Okay. But the power of life and death is in the tongue. It is not in the food that you're eating, in the diet. This is why we pray over our food. This is why we say grace over our food, because loving intentions and emanating from a sound mind can turn even junk food into a healthy feast. Okay, this is the power that exists in your tongue. Okay, you have the power to bless, and you also have the power to curse. And once you know your power, then you understand that, again, loving intentions, bring prayed over your food, okay, with a sound mind, can turn any meal into a healthy feast. Okay, so no diet prescribed to you by anyone but you and your own body should be adhered to, like it as if it is a religion. Okay, it is a natural process of spiritual evolution. Okay, in the natural process of spiritual evolution, each individual, this is because I've always said, even when I was in church, they didn't like me when I was in church because I had so many other questions. Like, why is one grown woman asking another grown woman, what is it that we believe? I know we're in church and everything, but like, you should be knowing something, about, what you believe. Otherwise, you are just, a head on a stick waiting to be, programmed by someone. Even in church, you should know what you believe and know why you believe it. Okay, but back to the subject. Our own personal preferences. These are the things that each person, when you're thinking about your diet, okay, spiritually and on any other way, you should be considering your own personal preferences, your age, okay, your level of activity, okay, your state of physical agility, okay, because you ain't got to follow everybody else's diet to become like them. We all each have a tailor-made way to embody our spirit, okay. And so, exactly, Michael Johnson, study for yourself, and what you need to be studying is not outside of you. Okay, if you don't go within, you will still go without the understanding of what the universe is trying to show you. Okay, everything, again, when we evolve spiritually and naturally, our energy, our frequency, our vibration becomes more fine-tuned naturally. Okay, and so naturally, so does our diet. Okay, our diet will naturally also become more refined as we grow. Okay. Another spot in your religious book uh, says that it is not what goes into your body that defiles you, but you are defiled by what comes from your heart. This is Mark 7 and 15, in case you are religious. Okay. So, I know these scriptures because, again, once again, my path of spirituality took me through the church. And I was in love with everything about it because I actually believed that these people were the saints and these were my family of light. So I took it all in, but then I begun to see the deception and other things that were there. But I am very, very well versed in spiritual text, okay, of all types, not just the Bible, but I know that a lot of people are versed in the Bible. So for those religious people who need validation for what I'm trying to tell you, you can look, again at Matthew, what was that? Matthew 11 and 15, and then Mark 7:15. It is not what you put into your body that defiles you, okay? What defiles you is what comes from your heart. Okay. And if you're a light worker, an empath, a star seed on any level, you already know this. Okay. So your diet should be tailor made for you and your body's needs alone. Okay. And so listening to all these gurus and all of these health experts, they can be helpful. But at the same time, be exactly natural spiritual evolution is going to naturally transform you, Michael Johnson, from that caterpillar that was earthbound to the butterfly who can now fly. Because I like to use the analogy of an apple seed already being an apple tree. Okay, that apple seed only needs to be planted and nurtured. It doesn't need anything extra coming from nobody else for it to become what God has already planted within that seed for it to become. Okay, and so we don't need all of this other direction from other people and all of that. Your body will let you know what it needs. Okay. This is when we crave something salty, we crave something sweet. Some people eat, what's that stuff people eat? A lot of people chew ice, but some people eat cornstarch. Okay. Because their body knows that there's a deficiency of something in their body that they need. Okay. And so no one should be judging anyone else, most definitely not by the standards that have been programmed into society as for what is beauty. Okay. Beauty comes in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Okay. If in fact you are not programmed. Okay. But your diet should be tailor made to you, and again, your own specific body's needs. Okay. Because I noticed that a lot of people who become spiritual, they just think that becoming vegan just, exalts them above everyone else who eats meat. And these people are, again, these are people whose ego has usurped the purpose and the wisdom that they have gained. Okay. The only reason that some meats, okay, should not be eaten is because of the brutal and negative way that the meat has been gathered, has been processed. Okay. And the artificial things that that were added to the meats during the process. Okay. um those are the things that make the meat bad for you. Okay. All fruits, vegetables, seeds, and nuts, all of these things have varying degrees of life force energy in them. Okay. And meat is an important part of some people's diets for various reasons. Okay. And this is not unacceptable by the divine. Okay. So, people who think going vegan is making them, exactly, Michael Johnson, but the lifestyle change should not be so heavily influenced by the mass consciousness of the society, but it should, again, we should always go within for our answers, okay? Because we left there's a larger non-physical part of us that loves us more than anybody outside of us, that is trying to guide us to our divinity. And so there's no one outside of yourself who can guide you there and who can get you there any quicker or any painlessly than your higher self. And this is why it's so important to cultivate that relationship with self, because again, we are each different. Our metabolism is different. Our bodies are different. And so we all have different needs. And like I said, for some people, meat is an important part of their diets for various health reasons. Okay. Again, fruits, nuts, vegetables, all of those things have varying degrees of life force within them. Okay. And so there's different reasons why we eat different things. Okay. But I will say that eating meat is not unacceptable to the divine, okay? Because certain fish, fowl, select animals, and select members of the fruit and vegetable kingdom agreed to provide sustenance for mankind, okay, for a certain span of time, okay? Why did this have to happen? Because as it was a necessity as we descended from the higher realms, okay, down into this denser, lower, fourth and third dimensional realms, okay? In the higher realms, prana sustains us. It's in the air. It's what we breathe. It's what sustains us, okay? But as we were descending, okay, we were leaving some of the the larger non-physical part of ourselves behind, and we had to acclimate ourselves to this denser reality. Okay, exactly. Clean and unclean, Michael Johnson. And again, don't forget, the power of life and death is in the tongue. So if you pray over your food with loving intention and a sound mind, you can still bless that food to become something that's going to be beneficial for you. Okay, but as we sank into this lower realm and descended into a denser reality where we actually have a physical body, we can no longer sustain ourselves from the prana alone. Okay, which is, like I said, that prana is all that is needed to sustain yourself in the higher realms. Okay, but and as we ascend back to the higher realms of light, the prana will literally, it literally permeates the air. Okay, we naturally become more refined, and we begin to draw sustenance from prana, okay, that's permeating the air in the higher realms once again. But in the lower realms, some of the things that we do, some of the things that we do are very necessary, because we are, though we are, our true identity is the spirit. We are both fully human and fully divine. Okay. And so there are some things that are necessary. And I feel like, some of the spiritualists, they grasp the knowledge of, as far as like what we should be eating and all of that, as far as when once we've evolved, and they try to rush ahead, and they start to try to switch up their diets and all of that, but they haven't done a lot of the other work that's necessary to be even vibrating high enough to be trying to sustain yourself off prana. So for the time being, like I said, there were certain there's certain meats, there's certain seeds and fruits and things from the animal kingdom that presented themselves and volunteered themselves to be as sustenance for us. And this is why we give thanks. This is why we pray. This is why we say grace over the food, because this food all has life force in it, just like we do, and it actually volunteered itself to become sustenance for us. Okay, so for me personally, and so I'm going to share it with you, have been instructed to choose all things in moderation. Okay, so all things do not have, because in this realm we cannot try to live off prana alone. Okay, because you're simply not yet there physically. No matter what you're learning mentally and mentally and spiritually, you have to get yourself there physically, which means there's more work that needs to be done from within. Okay, so listen to your body, okay? And your body will tell you what benefits it and what doesn't benefit it, okay? Your higher self guides you, with loving intentions. And I'm telling you, loving intentions and gratitude, basically benefits, it creates like a layer of protection over everything that you eat, drink, do, or say. So you want to have a loving heart at all times. You want to speak life into the food that you're going to eat or serve to someone else. You want to speak life over the water that you're getting ready to drink. You want to understand that life and death is in the tongue. Okay, the power of life and death is in your tongue. Okay, so use your tongue to bless your food before you eat it. Use your tongue to bless your water before you eat it and before you serve it to other people. Okay, because the process of aging in the old world can be kind of likened to like generational curses, which I really don't really believe in, like that. But a lot of fraudulent spiritualists, they like to speak a lot about jinn curses and jinn hexes because they want you to pay them to remove these things from you. When really these things, these people are fear mongering, basically planting these fears into other people's minds. Okay. And basically, conditions such as like arthritis, hypertension, back pain, joint pain, asthma, all the overall bodily breakdowns that come with aging um, do not have to happen. Okay, and are all basically they're not generational curses or hexes. Okay, this is a trick of the mass consciousness of the matrix, whereby issues from the past, okay, and the dysfunctions within the ancestral DNA of the people on the planet will cause these conditions to manifest when we experience feelings of guilt, resentment, shame, rejection, unworthiness, or unloved in any form. These negative experiences from past lives, okay, not just from this one. And some of them trigger from this one too, but I'm talking about every soul on this planet has lived many lives. So when you have these feelings of resentment, shame, rejection, unworthiness, feeling unloved in any form, you are going to trigger some deep, very deep seated, negative experiences that are core memories of our ancient past lives. Okay, and it's basically, it causes those triggers to rise to the surface. The purpose for them to rise to the surface is for them to be released once and for all. But again, a lot of people don't know how to release, which is why I try to remind people to remember to release. If you're an empath, because you are going to take in a lot from the environment, and you have to take your spiritual baths. You have to know how to release that back to the divine so that it's not weighing you down. Okay, yeah, we're in the midst of population control right now, Michael Johnson, but if you are vibrating high enough, that's not even part of your reality. Okay, so every soul on the planet has lived several lives, okay, and some of us more than others, okay, and a lot of us have been ostracized, abandoned, tortured, even murdered, okay, in numerous lifetimes. Okay, and so in this lifetime, okay, in order to heal this lifetime, to heal those painful memories of the past. And, the angelic realm is here to help us make that possible to do. But it's important that you understand that every soul on the planet has had many lives, okay, and has been, through a lot of those situations that trigger you, okay, being abandoned, like I said, being ostracized, being tortured to death, being murdered, being hated, many times through many lifetimes. We've been here a lot of times, you guys. This is why we have deja vu. This is why we tired of coming here, okay? This is the time to heal those painful memories of the past, okay? And the angelic realm, again, is helping to make this possible. So, for those of you who refuse to show any form of weakness, you ignore the physical pains that you feel in your body as a result of not allowing those energies to flow, of not allowing that energy to be expressed, okay? You push yourselves to the point of exhaustion, okay? If you begin to pay attention to the signals that your body is sending to you, okay, you'll know what you need to do. You'll know what needs to be done to bring yourself back into balance, okay, within and without, okay? You can do this through your private meditations and through your visualizations, okay? But when you begin to do that, you are opening a pathway between your sacred mind and your sacred heart, okay? And so you have to really become aware of, because people don't realize what's her name, India Ari. She has a song about something about, and now your back aches, and now you're something. I'll put the song in the link. I can't remember it, but she's talking about how you've been being mean your whole life. Your heart chakra has been closed. You've not been good to other people, and now you're having all of these bodily pains, and you're not going to get rid of them until you get it together. The song is called Get It Together. Okay, so that's basically what's happening right now. Okay, but when you begin to love yourself and feel worthy, then you will have broken those old programs from your past lives, okay? And you will no longer feel the need to manifest those distressful physical symptoms, okay? Your true identity is spirit, okay? And you choose your family, okay? You choose your bloodline, you choose your heritage and your physical body for specific reasons, okay? You brought with you the same misdirected thought forms, the same dysfunctions that they had. This is why I always, mention how my grandmother was a Heyoka empath, okay? I am part Native American on both sides of my family, and my grandfather was a diabolical narcissist. And so I think that this is why I am a supernova, a Heyoka empath that can match the energy of the narcissist. And this is why they don't intimidate or scare me. Okay, I feel like I am the one who can slay the narc demon. Okay, but anyway, your true identity is your spirit. Okay, and you chose your bloodline, you chose your physical body for a reason, okay? And you brought with you those same dysfunctional thoughts and dysfunctional thought forms that your ancestors had, or that you had in your family, in your past lives, okay? So because you are the one who's going to break the cycle of those dysfunctions, okay? What some people call generational curses, okay? You are the one. But where did the name of your channel originate from, and why did you name? Okay, because Oshun is my spiritual name. The spirit that speaks through me is a goddess by the name of Oshun. You can look her up. There is a river named for her in Nigeria. So I am the River Queen. Okay, like a lot of people call themselves like a devotee of Oshun, a daughter of Oshun. I am Oshun. I have had experiences of becoming the water in that river. Okay, and having the knowing that I am the spirit of the river who transforms. Okay, so that's what my name, spiritual name, Omo Oshun Ibu Ikole, it means the spirit of the river who transforms. And so that's why I named a lot of things that my daughters both have names related to water. um, Oshun is the River Queen. Okay, so that's why my channel is called River Queen Conjure. I sell products in my shop called River Rocks. I sell a spray, a clearing spray called River Water. It's all about water for me. Okay, when I take a hot bath, okay, it's like entering the mother's womb. This is where I do my releasing of all of the negativity, of the spiritual debris that I collect from other people when I'm around, when I'm in crowds. A hot bath, preferably a hot fragrant bath with sea salt or Himalayan pink salt added, takes it right away. This is where I do my releasing to the divine. And so water is very, very important to me on my particular path. But Oshun is a goddess of love and also a river queen. Okay, so I work with water magic, and I'm very empathic. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. So your true identity is your spirit, okay? And again, you chose your family so that you could come in and be the one to break the cycle, okay, of dysfunction, okay, that some people refer to as generational curses, which I don't believe in. I believe us having the power to change any and everything, okay? And so your physical health improves when you focus on positivity, okay, and creating things instead of allowing negativity to be your dominant thoughts. If you go around most people, because most of the world that I've noticed is narcissistic in nature, okay, and so negative thoughts is what dominates their mind, okay, and this is why these people are not pleasant to be around, and this is why they create negative circumstances for themselves. Okay, so when your physical health will improve when you change your mind, when you focus on positivity. Okay, this is fully within your power to do. Okay, there will be times when you can't stop yourself from thinking a thought that's in your mind. Okay, a negative thought that you might have that's in your mind, but what you can do is discipline yourself to monitor your thoughts, okay, and to replace any negative thought trying to come in with a positive affirmation. Okay, this is how you deprogram your mind from the negative and the lower third and fourth dimensional realities. And this is how you reprogram your mind to acclimate yourself to the higher realities. Okay, affirmations work wonders when you are consistent with them, because a belief is just something that you keep repeating over and over again until you believe it. Okay, so affirmations, you may not believe what you're saying when you start saying them, but if you make this a consistent practice in your life to affirm to yourself and speak life over yourself and your dreams, your desires, your want with a loving intention, I guarantee you that your life will change. Okay, and so you can't be thinking negative thoughts and expect to have a positive experience. So the point is to discipline yourself to monitor your thoughts, replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations. be consciously changing your thoughts. Okay. Every time you think about, because it's all about energy, frequency, and vibration. Okay. So when you consciously change your thoughts to something more positive, you are consciously changing your energy, frequency, and vibration. You're changing the energy that you're projecting out into the world. And so the world is going to change what it's going to be mirroring back to you. Okay. By consciously changing your thoughts, you can change your energetic frequency patterns that you're projecting out into the world. You can gain control over your thoughts, and you can change your world, because you don't have to think those negative thoughts that are just in the air, just like the prana. It's like this. It's like, in the higher realms, in the realms of light, there's literally like these very bright sparks of air that you can breathe in and then breathe out as tangible creations in the higher realms. In the lower realms, what's floating through the air is a lot of spiritual debris, people's fears, people's anger, people's jealousy, just a lot of darkness. And so we don't want to, as an empath, you naturally absorb that. And this is why I always remind my empaths to release. Okay. You don't have to hold on to that. It's not your stuff. Okay. And so you have to develop a method of releasing that back to the divine. Okay. The title of today's video, Witching Hour, because people need to hear what you have to offer. For some, it may be a turn off. Well, for those for who is a turn off, they weren't meant to be here, honey, because the thing is this. Once you have stepped onto the path, you are being divinely guided by your own spirits to where you're supposed to be. And so my goal was never to reach the masses. Okay. My message is for a select few. And I have no doubt that those people who are meant to find me and to resonate and to benefit from what I'm offering, they will find me. If you check out my channel and my pages, my numbers are not very big, because I don't do a lot of the things that other people do to get attention, because this is not about attention. This is about ascension. And so those who are turned off by the word witch, which means just wise woman or wise one, they have not reached the level of spiritual evolvement to be ready for what I'm teaching anyway. Okay. So all is as it should be. I do, however, thank you for spending this time and space with me, and for you having an open mind. Okay. I have a lot to offer, but not everyone is ready. And when they are ready, these videos will be here for them. Okay. Everything works in divine timing, my dear. Okay. So, basically, you can change, because people feel like, if I got something on my mind and I'm thinking about it, how can I not think about it? Well, you have to discipline yourself. This is the work. When you monitor your thoughts, think about what you're thinking about. And if you notice yourself thinking about something that is negative, that you don't want to happen, that happened before, that you don't want to happen again, or that you don't want to happen in the future, then replace that thought with something that you do want to manifest. Okay. By consciously changing your thoughts, you're changing your energy, your frequency, your vibration, and you're projecting that out into the world. You're literally gaining control over your thoughts. And when you can gain control over your thoughts, because perception is reality, you are literally changing your world. Okay. It is going to help people when they're ready, because see, the path, there's levels to this. Okay. So, me talking about some of the things that I'm talking about right now, Michael, it would be like trying to teach college courses and not saying that, I'm so advanced and all of that, but I am a lot more advanced than where a lot of other people are on their path. And so me trying to teach people on certain levels would be like, a college professor trying to teach like a third grade class. So again, when those people are ready, the teacher will appear. Okay, the teacher is leaving the videos right here on YouTube, so that if once you begin to understand this path, people tend to be guided to where they need to be at the right place and the right time. This is why I don't mind recording my releases even when there's no one in my chat, because I know that when they need it, they will find it. Okay, and so each day declare to yourself, okay, that you're going to live each day to the fullest, okay, and give thanks to for all of the small and large gifts that the universe is blessing you with, because a lot of people who are ungrateful, they get blessed every day with little things that I find so that I'm so grateful for, that they just walk by. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think about the movie The Color Purple, when they were talking about, it's a sin, or they said something like that, like it was a sin to walk past the color purple, because everything is alive, everything wants to be loved, everything wants to be noticed. You know what I'm saying? And so each day, it's very important, and it also changes and raises your vibration when you just give thanks for the little things, um, that happen in your life, because those little things begin to be larger and larger, because you have literally turn the cosmic wheel in your favor, okay, by consciously making a decision to change your thoughts, to take control over your own mind instead of being a drifter, okay, which is what the devil looks for. I don't know if you're familiar with my the book study that I'm doing, Michael Johnson, on this channel, but you might be interested in it. It's all about narcissism and how, because my own personal theory is that narcissism is a level of demonic possession. We are on lesson 27, so there are 26 episodes that you can binge watch if you haven't been following us, so that you probably will understand a little bit more about where I'm coming from when I talk about, the devil energy, and releasing yourself from it, and also recognizing it, and because it's a path, it's a process, okay. And so the devil, when I think about the devil, I think about that the scene in The Exorcist, when the priest came in to try to pray over her, how vulgar and harsh he became with the words. This is how the devil operates, okay. So with anyone who's ever dealt with a narc, they have heard some of the most horrible and hurtful things about themselves, and these are good people with good hearts, okay. So they were like literal daggers, okay, that fiery daggers being shot into your heart by someone that you thought loved you, okay. So it's a very horrible experience to have as an empath, knowing the way that we absorb things, okay. So the healing process, it's all about self-love, like we talked about before. And so each day you declare to yourself that you're going to live this day to the fullest, okay, and that give thanks again to the large and the small blessings that will begin to show up in your life, and understand that grace is from breath to breath, okay. None of this had to be given to you, okay. So occasionally take a pause, okay, between breaths. Take a pause between inhaling and out and exhaling that breath, okay. And understand that that pause between breaths is the still point of creation, okay. During that pause between breaths is a moment of perfect attunement to all that is, okay. It's perfect attunement to your creative, compassionate creator. Our physical bodies are going through a mass healing right now to return to balance with our etheric body, okay. And this is why a lot of people are going through whatever they're going through with their body, okay. A narcissist also pushed me into my greater awakening, Mr. Johnson, and this may be their purpose for being here, because I literally can't think of any other purpose that they have other than to be the devil's co-workers. Okay. So, so if a narcissist pushed you into your greater awakening, and if you're not aware of my book study, Dissecting the Devil, the book that I'm actually dissecting is entitled Outwitting the Devil, and it's a book by Napoleon Hill. Okay, but what I'm doing is I'm dissecting the book, and I'm paralleling the devil, describing his behavior and his tactics with the behavior and the tactics of the narcissist, the diabolical narcissist, the sociopath, the psychopath. Okay, in my attempt to prove my theory. Okay, my hypothesis that these antisocial personality disorders, that they like to call them, are much more than that. They are literally different levels of demonic possession. Okay. So, and I'm like 2/3 through the book. So you might enjoy, checking out that book study. It is organized into a book study, into a playlist, on this channel. If you're interested at any time when you have the time. I also have Witching Hour Release, or right now this is a Witching Hour Revelation. This is another series that I'm starting. I have a series called Witching Hour Releases, which is, what I was doing right before this. And I also have a Twin Flame series. If you are in any way familiar or have been dealing with the Twin Flames, or even if you're just curious about it, check out the playlists that I have on this channel. I think you may be able to get a lot out of it. Okay. And so understand that your physical body, and this is everyone as a collective on this planet, we're going through a mass healing, returning to balance with our ethereal body. So we're healing and transforming into, basically into more vibrant health. Okay. And this is as it should be, but it is required that you release. And this is why in the weeks coming up to this, leading up to this, I was stressing how much you needed to choose what you're going to take with you in the higher realms, and release those things that were no longer serving you or that were restricting you in any way. Okay. So, those of you who have been working on aligning yourself with your ethereal body, healing and transforming into, vibrant health. This is as it should be in all of our lower vibratory memories, thoughts, words, and deeds. Understand that those were controlled by the subconscious mind. Okay. I'm just checking out the okay, good. Yeah, so then you found you're exactly where you're supposed to be, Michael Johnson, and I am grateful for your energy and your presence here. Okay. So we are healing, we're healing, we're transforming into, again, the more that we release all of the toxicity that doesn't even belong to us, the more vibrant our health will become. Okay. And so that is very important. Okay. And to understand that, your memories, your thoughts, the words and deeds that you do are controlled by the subconscious mind that has been programmed by several things. Okay. And so basically we have to reprogram that. And the fastest way to reprogram and deprogram the subconscious mind is affirmation, visualizations during your meditation, and changing the way that you verbally express yourself. Okay. To yourself and to others. Okay. So let me repeat that. The fastest way to deprogram and reprogram the subconscious mind, okay, which is essential to your evolution, is to say positive affirmations to yourself, to visualize the life and the world the way that you want it to be during those meditations, and to change the way that you verbally express your wants, your needs, and the things that you intend to create, to yourself and to others. Okay, this is the beginning of how you change these things. Okay. Yes, Michael. And then you are in the right place. So, to deprogram and reprogram the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is basically programmed. And this is important because I've always known this. The subconscious mind is programmed by using repetition, using rhythm, and emotion. Okay, so what what can we think of that utilizes all three of those things at the same time? Okay, that would be music. Okay, music utilizes repetition, rhythm, and emotion. It evokes emotion at the same time. And so the reason why I felt the need to point this out is because I don't know if you're familiar with my dream about the time of change, but basically the entire world was getting possessed and was going to be possessed. And I had that dream like over 20 years ago, but we're in the time right now. So a lot of these people have been possessed by the music, you know, this is why entertainers are recruited to do certain jobs. They've been possessed by the television programs that they watch, the cartoons, even some of the jingles that are, that are there for like the commercials, and, it's all subconscious. Okay, everything that is there to program you to be stuck in the matrix is all subconscious. But it's very important to understand that the mind is programmed by using rhythm, repetition, and emotion. And I know this works for a fact because my daughters, their names aren't complicated, but they are unusual. And I taught them to spell their names by turning their names into a song that rhymed, okay, and that they loved, that it made them happy to sing it. So this was the utilization of music. It was a utilization of rhythm, repetition, and emotion, okay? So my daughters learned how to spell their names way before most children did, because I knew what I needed. I knew all they needed was a song that they was going to remember, and they would remember that that's how they spell their names. Okay, so for those of you going forward who have young children, understand that if you turn their name into a song, or whatever it is that you want them to learn, turn it into a song. And a song that rhymes and also makes them move or makes them happy or feel something, it will be indelibly printed on their brain, just like you find yourself singing songs that you don't even like because you heard it on the radio on the way to work. Okay, this is how the brain works. Okay, so the enemy knows this, and this is why they put certain things in the music, into the television programs, and into the school books, into whatever they doing. Okay, but to counteract that is to become awakened to the fact that this is what is being used: rhythm, repetition, and emotion, and to use it in your own way. Okay, this is like reversing hypnotic rhythm and teaching you to use those things to create benefits in your life. Okay, so just like a computer, the subconscious mind, it just, it basically plays back the same impulses that it receives. Okay, it is subjective and non-judgmental. It just creates what you energetically give it to create. Okay, so it's not the subconscious mind's fault that these things are happening, but it's your lack of awareness of what you're feeding into the subconscious mind that is, creating these circumstances. Okay, the conscious mind is constantly being affected by the subconscious mind. Okay, making it a composite of everything that you've experienced in this lifetime, plus the dysfunctional portions of the past lives that you've agreed to bring into this life with you, so that it could be reconciled, okay, so that it can be released once and for all, okay. So as babies, we were each born pure and innocent, but within our DNA, okay, and our subconscious, even as a baby, is the cellular memory, okay, of our of our many past lives, and our imbalanced, our the things that we went through in past lives. Okay, the imbalanced frequencies, patterns, vibrations, via the ancestral lineage. Okay, so this is what a lot of spiritualists refer to as generational curses. But these are cellular memories that are stored in the DNA that get activated when something outside of us triggers a familiar feeling. Okay, because I've had plenty of times when I was hurt by a friend, or something, and the hurt was so disproportionate to the situation that was happening. Like, I was hurting as if I was grieving much deeper than I should have been over this little friend or whatever. And so I always knew that something deeper within myself was being triggered by the situation. And so that's what I'm talking about. Like, when you go through certain things in this life, it triggers a pain that you've been carrying for several lifetimes. Okay. In some schools of thought, this is believed to be called the original sin. Okay. In others, it's known as karma. Okay. And now that we know that it is our choice, okay, to experience these lessons, because now we know that we chose to experience these lessons, okay, that are involved, so that we can reconcile, so that we can heal the imbalances in our bloodline. Okay, those who are stuck in the lower realms are the ones who basically they held on to those old beliefs. They're set in their ways. They're resistant to change, and they're stuck in the matrix. Okay, but if you're doing the work to actually evolve, let me see what you're saying here. So what's your take on all these rhythm and frequency YouTube affirmations? Are they good or bad? Discernment. I would say use discernment, because I do use a lot of the rhythm frequency. I make my own affirmations, but I do use a lot of like the hertz frequencies. But I also advise anyone to use discernment with those, because of course the enemy is always slithering around trying to sneak something up in there. So some of those subliminals and some of those frequency vibration things that they put up there are actually taking you to a lower realm. So I would say pay attention to the way that it's making you feel, because you always know the truth by the way it feels. Okay, but right now we're trying to connect with the higher self, okay, and the expanded wisdom of our higher consciousness, the consciousness of our soul, which contains the wisdom of your super conscious mind. Okay. And as you begin to balance and harmonize the physical chakra system, okay, and your soul and higher self merge together, okay, within your sacred heart center, then the process of, returning, the process of, like, balancing your mind and accessing your super conscious mind, that's what starts to happen basically. Once you can merge your spirit and soul, once your body can you can embody your spirit, then the process of super learning how to access your super consciousness, your super conscious mind begins. And this is when you can begin to access the truth of galactic and cosmic consciousness. Okay, the subconscious mind is being programmed. Okay, the subconscious mind is being reprogrammed. okay, as we speak. And to basically, as we speak about, we're speaking about old, outdated, limited, restrictive thoughts, and basically removing those things if you choose. Okay, that's what clearing the subconscious mind is all about. It's about letting go of all of those old, outdated thoughts that kept you stuck in the matrix, and accessing the awareness of any self-limiting thoughts. It's really about checking your thoughts, and checking yourself thought to thought, and thinking about what you're thinking about. Okay, so any self-limiting thoughts, once you've accessed your super consciousness, you're aware. As soon as a self-limiting thought comes in, you become aware of any self-limiting thoughts that can quickly modify, and you can quickly modify those thoughts, meaning that once you become aware and start thinking about what you're thinking about, as soon as something comes in that is not conducive to you growing, becoming more abundant, becoming wiser, you're going to automatically reject that negativity, okay, which ain't nothing but devil energy, and you're going to automatically replace it, okay, with something that will quickly modify you and in your conscious mind, okay, and the process of you reunifying the left and right hemispheres of the brain, okay. And so it's no longer going to be that polarity of me rejecting the other side of myself. This is when we go into the twin flame thing, which are basically just physical representations of feminine and masculine energy, which in their pure essence is pure magnetism and pure electricity. But that's a whole nother video, okay. But basically, it's about once you begin to unify your body with your spirit, you're also unifying and lifting your left and right hemispheres of the brain coming together, okay. Basically, the left and right hemispheres of the brain do different things, okay. The left hemisphere is linear, it's practical, it's analytical, okay. It's outward focused, okay. That's left brain activity. The right brain is nurturing, creative, intuitive. It has abstract abilities, okay. It has powers. The right brain is like the magical high priestess side of the brain, okay. When these two sides of the brain, the twin flames, are brought together in harmony, the pathway from your sacred heart to your sacred mind reunifies, okay? And then you're well on your way to self-mastery. So this is the path, okay? You have to basically balance your male and female energies, your light and dark energies, your God and devil energies, whatever you want to call it, the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It's all the same dynamic. Once you get those unified, again, you become more whole than you've ever been before, and you're well on your way to self-mastery, okay. A whole new world of possibilities opens up for you, okay. You learn how to tap into the sacred mind, okay, and the sacred heart, okay, which is the mind and heart of God, okay. Your sacred mind will overlight your emotional nature, and your sacred heart will overlight your mental nature, okay. And as we return to that balance in self-mastery, the years ahead of us can be the most glorious years that we've ever had. They can be the most miraculous, blissful time that we've ever had, okay, if you master the art of tapping into your own sacred mind via your sacred heart, okay. So you have to basically um, wake up. You have to awaken, because you have gifts that are living dormant within you. Okay, you have to consciously activate your gifts. Okay, and bring them into your reality. All you have to do is envision the world okay, the way you'd like to create it, okay, the way you want it to be, and then follow your soul's nudging, because it's like when you give your mind a vision, you're actually sending visions to your higher self, okay? And when you give your mind that vision begins to give nudgings to your soul. You begin to feel a quickening in your soul. And when you follow those nudges, those hunches, those signs from your soul, you begin to take inspired actions, okay? And the necessary that are necessary to literally manifest your dreams, okay? So this is the path that you're on, okay? Basically, you're trying to balance the left and right hemispheres. You're balancing your masculine and feminine energies in order to open a pathway to your sacred mind. And once that is open, again, all you have to do is activate all of those gifts that have been lying dormant, and you can create your reality to make it any way that you want it to be, okay? Because what's going to happen is you're going to be able to hear your soul more clearly, guiding you onto what to do, telling you what to do, where to be, what to say, and how to get what you want out of this life. Okay. So basically, it's going to feel like, all of a sudden I know what to do. I feel that I have to go do this. I have to be in a certain place at a certain time. Okay. And basically, this is your soul having a clear connection now. It's not being it's not, there's no white noise in between you and your soul. Your soul is speaking clearly to you, telling you what moves to make, how to do it, what you need to do, and it's essentially leading you to your heart's desires. Okay, so I'm going to leave you guys with this for tonight, because I think I've said not enough. It's actually daylight where I am, and I'm still going to take my spiritual bath, which I know I'm going to have to reheat. But I do hope that even the people who are here, because there are a few lurking in the bushes, and the ones who have made themselves known, it is my hope that the information that I share is truly helpful to you on your path, okay, and that it does help you, expand your wisdom, to open up new avenues of thought, to see things in a different perspective, and to eventually be able to uncover your own particular spark of God light, okay, and God particles, because we are all sparks of God, okay, covered up by the old world that tried it but didn't quite work. So Michael Johnson, if you I don't know how often you watch my channel, but I posted a video today where I was going on a hike and literally like showing people how the showing people how. Thank you, undeniably me. And many blessings back to you, my love. I appreciate it. How the new world, the new earth is literally bursting through the carnage of the old world falling down. This is how it's happening. It's already happening. So, because I go to the lake a lot, I go out in nature a lot, and I share a lot of that with my people. I share the information that I get from on high with my people. I share downloads because this is my job. Okay. So, you might enjoy watching some of those nature videos as well, because they are illustrations of what I'm talking about here. The new world, the new earth, literally bursting through everything that appears to be crumbling and dying. So, for my people, be not afraid at all, but be excited, because what was corrupt, what was built on corruption, what was godless, is basically crumbling now. It's falling. This is not our world that's falling, but it's our world that's pushing up through the carnage. Okay, so if you guys didn't watch my video earlier, I think it was the last video that I posted on here. I don't remember the name of it. Something about being at the lake or new earth energy or something like that. I suggest you guys check that out, because I don't just talk about this. I live it. Okay, it's called livity, and I think that my next live video that I do, I'm going to talk about livity. Okay, because there's a big difference in knowing the path and walking the path. Okay, and I'm going to leave you guys with that once again. Thank you for joining me. In this time and space, we were listening to John Stevenson's chakra healing music. This is the happiness frequency, releasing serotonin, dopamine, endorphins, okay, and also negativity, okay? So relax, my people. Peace.